Well, here I am in the pod, up close and personal, and today, our first ever guest. I'm joined by Mr. Steve Pinto from Wandsworth Chamber of Commerce. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me, Denise.
Now, call me a little bit silly, but what exactly do you do?
So the Chamber of Commerce, it's a networking organisation these days. Some of the larger chambers are also fantastic lobbying organisations where they really do influence government. Wandsworth Chamber is one of the smaller independents, and we do influence local government, but essentially we're there to bring businesses together where they can network, develop new contacts, find synergies with other businesses to work together, get into the supply chain of some of the larger developments in Wandsworth, and meet some of the key stakeholders. A lot of networking events, the onus is on giving referral after referral, but we find that can be disingenuous sometimes. Wandsworth Chamber and most of the chambers are all about coming along, meeting other businesses, trying to find out the ones that work in the same area that you do, that probably have the same target market, and just see, you know, if you can get to like, know and trust somebody, there's more chance that you'll open up your contact list to them and vice versa. And quite often there's an overlap in how you can satisfy a customer. So ours is very much about building relationships.
So what you're saying really is if we all work together, we can all help each other.
I think it's a great way of putting it. You know, my ambition for Wandsworth is to create this circular economy where we live, work and play together, and if we can all do a little bit of work with each other rather than going across the country to say get your printing, we could not only make this a huge green issue, but Wandsworth would prosper. I think it would create jobs and help businesses to grow.
How does somebody who's young get involved?
We've got a fantastic young Chamber of Commerce. It's quite new, but we've partnered up with Roehampton University, South Thames College and Wandsworth Council. And the idea really is to give youngsters a shot at enterprise, to introduce them to businesses where they can perhaps practice some of the theory that they're learning at university or the last year at school, where they can actually talk to businesses and turn that into a dialogue that they get used to and comfortable with. And where perhaps, you know, through developing relationships with businesses, they could perhaps get mentoring, work experience, apprenticeships and even jobs.
Now, I see you've brought some magazines here. So what exactly is this all about?
Well, Business Connections. It's a name that we thought up, which aptly reflected what we're trying to do in Wandsworth, and that's connecting businesses. This is the second edition that we've published. It's a quarterly magazine, and that's the American ambassador on there. But just in reading the magazine, you'll get a good insight into what's happening in the chamber, what's happening in Wandsworth. On page 32, there's 3 months of events posted.
Do you have any regular events that happen all the time?
Yeah, we have a big breakfast, which is a formal sit-down, normally at one of the big hotels or patron members, and that's on the last Wednesday of every month. We've got Metrobank Mondays in Clapham Junction, which is the first Monday of every month except on bank holidays. And then we've got the Putney Business Group, which is the third Tuesday of every month. So a lot of regular stuff, but also interspersed with lots of other events as well.
How does somebody get involved?
It's really easy. I mean, most of our members come through word of mouth, but with the new magazine, we're reaching out to other businesses that have probably never heard of Wandsworth Chamber of Commerce before. We'd encourage all businesses to take a look at the chamber, because, you know, it's not always about trying to get a return. Sometimes the larger businesses want an avenue for corporate social responsibility, and our work with the young chamber is ideal for them. We will help them to engage with schools, perhaps adopt a school, take the Lionheart Challenge out to schools, and really get involved in giving something back to the community. for some of the smaller businesses in Wandsworth, come along to the events. You know, we encourage people to come 2 or 3 times before we ask them to join, and then just speak to me, have a one-to-one over coffee.
Thank you so much for joining us here today. It's been a pleasure having you as our first person here in the pod. Now, if you are a local person or a business and you'd like to join me here in the pod, then why not get in touch? You could be in here with me and I could be finding out all about you. So the information's just below. Have a little look and come and see us. My name's Denise Waterman and you've been watching South West London Television.